A judge overseeing a legal battle between actress Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni has threatened to move up their trial date.
Justin apparently got his hands on some obscene videos that might damage Blake's marriage to Ryan. Sources are saying these tapes might hold serious secrets about Blake and Justin's complicated relationship, one that could send shockwaves through Hollywood. So what's really going down behind the scenes? Is this all just a publicity stunt, or is Justin about to drop a bombshell that could change everything? So let's start with the crazy part. We're finally getting a peek at text messages and voice memos that weren't in the lawsuit. These didn't come from the legal files, but they're leaked, and it's wild. It's revealing some major secrets about Blake and Justin's relationship, and it's about to blow your mind. And don't even get me started on the footage from the movie set where Blake basically contradicts everything she said in her complaint. All of this is going to be saved for the trial, and honestly, Blake could be headed down the same road as Amber Heard. But it gets wilder. Apparently, Blake used Taylor Swift and Ryan to pressure Justin and Sony Pictures, threatening that if they didn't hand over the film to her, she'd pull all her celebrity power and support, meaning no promotion from her hundreds of millions of followers. Yeah, things definitely backfired for her on this one. Will admit and apologize. When I fail, I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. All right, so here's the complete story. Colleen Hoover, the author of the book, sold the movie rights to Justin in 2019, and she was actually the one who suggested he play real. On top of that, they were friends, and Colleen was super involved in the script, even promoting the movie with Justin after all the alleged harassment went down. Talk about awkward. Right now, here's where it gets a little spicy. After Blake dropped her lawsuit, Colleen hopped on Instagram to show her support for Blake. But hold up, this came after the interview you just saw. Things got real messy when Blake wasn't allowed to edit the movie the way she wanted. And that's when she was like, if I can't do it my way, I'm not promoting this film. But y'all, I think I finally figured out what's going on here. Why all this drama? Why are they trying to push Justin out? Here's the tea. Justin was continuously praising Blake's talent, always complimenting her in interviews and marketing the film together. It's honestly incredible given all that occurred. But here's the kicker. Blake blocked him out of the whole movie, took full control, edited it, marketed it, and even turned Colleen against him. And throughout all this, Justin never complained, and he never said a bad word about her publicly. Meanwhile, Blake didn't have a single positive thing to say about him, even though their text messages show that she was always thanking him and acknowledging his talent and effort. She even let him make decisions about the film at the start. So much for the love, right? Blake really made a fuss about Justin being inappropriate during intimate sessions, but here's the issue. She had a lot of control over those scenes, and anytime she had a chance to appreciate Justin's performance, she ducked it and shifted the subject elsewhere. Honestly, Blake's playing the game, and she's brilliant at it. She understood precisely what she was doing. Music. Blake's lawsuit claims that Justin would improvise and kiss her too much, but let's be real, there were only 2 kissing scenes before they took a break. Then, when Blake returned, she suddenly had all these new demands. If she was uncomfortable from the start, why not address it before? And here's the kicker, she refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator before filming resumed. That's literally what the coordinator's there for, to set boundaries and make sure everyone's on the same page. Yet, she avoided that step entirely. Meanwhile, Justin was just going along with the script, and now he's being painted as the bad guy? Something about this timeline doesn't add up. It's almost like her stance shifted after the break, not during those early scenes. It raises the question, what changed? Because the way this is unfolding seems a little too convenient.
You were even the intimacy coordinator in some of your scenes, like we saw you.
That shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear.
This could be part of the reason Colleen ended up siding with Blake. She was brought in to help finish the film after Blake took control of the editing room. But there's another reason for this too. If Colleen thought Justin's script was that good, why was Blake constantly making changes to it during filming? This whole thing doesn't add up, and trust, we'll see just how Blake and Ryan Reynolds have been trolling Justin for a while now. Plus, everything we've got disproves Blake's harassment claims. during production. So in Blake Lively's lawsuit, she claimed Justin was improvising too much during their scenes and kissing her more than he should. But here's the thing, there were only 2 kissing scenes before production took a break. When they came back, that's when Blake started dropping all these new demands, and get this, she refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator before filming, even though Justin made sure to meet with them and follow all the proper steps. That's a red flag. This could explain why Colleen Hoover turned on Justin. Blake pulled some strings getting Colleen involved in the editing process after she took the video from Justin, but don't think that's the only reason Colleen sided with Blake. There's more to the tale, and we'll get to that later. Here's where things get more crazy. Colleen had raved about Justin's original script, saying it was so good, so why was Blake suddenly changing all the lines on set? Something's off, right? And about those harassment claims Blake made, they don't hold up when you look at everything. There's plenty of evidence that contradicts her story, and Justin's team has been keeping track of all of it. All right, here's the scoop. After all the drama, Justin ended up casting Isabella Ferrer as young Lily in the movie, but guess what? The final decision wasn't even really his. It was actually Taylor Swift who convinced Blake that Isabella was perfect for the role. We are just such similar people already that I actually didn't feel like I had to do that much to tap into those mannerisms. I'm moving to Capri, and is going to take over my whole life because I realize I can just like peace and no one will know. It's amazing, it'll just be me now. She's inherited 4 children, an amazing husband. So even though Justin was the one who saw Isabella's talent, cast her, and pitched her to Blake and Taylor, his role in the decision basically got brushed aside. Now let's talk about how Justin was hyping Isabella up. He was all about her acting skills, and the text show Isabella appreciated him privately, but in public silence. And when the premiere arrived, Isabella went full on Team Blake. Even though she and Blake never worked together on set, she only worked with Justin, but Blake still managed to reel her in. Blake wasn't kidding around, however. She was styling Isabella, bringing her to premieres, and even hanging out with Ryan Reynolds on the Deadpool and Wolverine sets. Blake was obviously trying hard to recruit Isabella into her inner circle. At this point, Isabella was virtually ghosting Justin, and it wasn't hard to see why. Blake and Colleen were running the show, and if there's a sequel, Isabella's chances of landing a part seem fairly strong. Blake understands how to make moves behind the scenes and keep everyone on her side. Ultimate strategist vibes. But wait up, it gets messy. Blake and Ryan were active in making the movie, changing lines every day, something most actors don't get to do. Blake even played the underdog card with Justin, telling him how prior directors had kept her creativity back, feeling horrible for her. Justin allowed her rewrite this important rooftop scene. Blake made sure to note that Ryan and Taylor adored her adjustments, putting even more pressure on Justin to go along with it. At this point, with Blake and Colleen in charge, Isabella's future in a prospective sequel is looking quite solid. Blake understands how to form alliances, and Justin, well, he kind of got played in all of this. Justin was bending over backwards to keep Blake happy during production, but she was playing him from the start. It all started with her rewriting that rooftop scene. Justin liked her changes and even said he'd work some of them in, but Blake, she flexed her Hollywood connections, calling herself KSI with
will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very
Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her dragons. Not subtle at all, but Blake wasn't done yet. One scene wasn't enough. She wanted to rewrite the whole script. She made changes every single day, and Justin, trying to keep things smooth, went along with it. Eventually, she was questioning every scene and every decision Justin made about how to direct. All right, here's when things truly took a turn, the whole fat-shaming drama. So Justin Baldoni's text messages just exposed the truth behind the whole fat-shaming drama, and let's be real, it's not looking good for Blake and Ryan. Apparently, Ryan aggressively accused Justin of fat-shaming Blake after Justin privately asked her trainer how much she weighed. Now, mind you, Justin has chronic back issues and had to lift Blake for a scene, so asking for her weight, that's just basic prep work. But Blake took this and ran with it, claiming it was proof that Justin was making subtle digs about her body. But here's where it gets messy. Blake also claimed that Justin got her in contact with a weight reduction expert, apparently another method. He was fat-shaming her, but the texts paint a far different picture. Justin actually connected her with a gut health expert because she had been on multiple rounds of antibiotics. And speaking of texts, they showed Justin reassuring Blake about her body, not shaming her when she wanted to push back the body scenes because she wasn't feeling in shape yet. Justin told her she would look amazing and that they'd work around her Insecurities, meanwhile, Blake was the one joking about still having 20 pounds to go after her fourth baby. But let's go back to February 2023 when the drama really popped off during filming. Justin reached out to Blake's trainer Dawn Saladino for advice on how to safely lift her in a scene. Dawn sent him a workout program, and at some point Justin privately asked about Blake's weight, again a reasonable question given the circumstances. And what happened next? The very next day Justin was summoned to Blake and Ryan's penthouse, and as soon as he walked in, Ryan went off on him, swearing and demanding to know why he would dare ask about his wife's weight. Justin, feeling absolutely stunned, apologized over just trying to preserve the peace. Ryan then asked the lift scene be entirely erased, and Blake straight out refused to do it. And to add even more fuel to the fire, Blake's trainer Dawn later edited an old post just last week to distance himself from Justin. He made it clear that Blake is his real client, not just Justin, and doubled down on his loyalty to her. Bottom line, the texts don't back up Blake's claims. If anything, they show Justin supporting her while she played up the drama behind the scenes. And now with 168 pages of emails, texts, and WhatsApp messages laid out in Justin's lawsuit, it looks like this legal war is just getting started. And speaking of that footage, Blake wanted all the raw clips, but other crew members weren't on board because, let's be real, that's not standard practice. But Justin, still trying to accommodate her, gave her some of it anyway. When he finally put his foot down and said no to sending more, that's when Blake ran straight to Ryan and her lawyers with a whole new list of demands. She practically held the entire production hostage, threatening Justin's career, the movie schedule, and even testing Sony's patience. Speaking of production, there's also some footage which we got to talk about now. This is where things take a turn because leaked behind the scenes footage straight up contradicts Blake's claims of harassment. She accused Justin of acting inappropriately, sniffing her and kissing her neck during a scene, but the raw footage, it tells a different story. The clips show them maintaining in character and even laughing between takes to develop on-screen chemistry. At one point, Blake was the one recommending they connect more to make the situation appear more romantic. Honestly, the entire scenario is beginning to feel like another Amber Heard moment. Blake played the victim, twisted events, and used her influence to get what she wanted while making Justin seem like the villain. But when you look at the receipts, they don't exactly match up. Her version of events, the initial scene, didn't even include conversation. It was simply a romantic gesture from Justin's character, but Blake suggested adding Lynn to make it seem more personal. Justin went along with it, and they recorded both versions. Music. In the talking version, Justin is actually seen complimenting Blake and Ryan's real-life relationship, calling it cute, and even sharing sweet details about his own marriage. So where's the inappropriate behavior? The whole exchange seems professional and friendly, not what Blake described. Blake was heavily involved in every part of production and is known for her marketing skills. Somehow she even managed to convince Ryan that Justin was the bad guy in all of this. So the big question is, why would Blake, Colleen Hoover, and the rest of the actors turn against Justin, since he's the one who directed the movie that made them all successful? The simplest solution: power maneuvers and sequels. The successor to It Ends With Us, dubbed It Begins With Us, is already in the works while Justin controls the rights. Blake Lively has indicated interest in directing it. Justin even backed the notion, calling her a powerhouse, but it appears like Blake has her own intentions. She's dragged Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, and others to her side, and naturally the cast and writer who are devoted to her have removed themselves from Justin. But here's the catch: Justin still holds the rights to the sequel. The only way Blake could take over is if Justin willingly stepped aside, or if a morality clause in his contract with Sony or Colleen Hoover kicked in. If Justin were found guilty of harassment or caused reputational damage to the movie, that could trigger a clause sending the rights back to Sony or Hoover. In that case, Blake could step in as director and Call would still profit big time from the sequel's success. It's a smart move given how massive the first film was. And of course, the drama doesn't stop there. Reports say that back in September, before any legal drama even started, Ryan Reynolds tried to buy Justin out of the sequel rights. Allegedly, he offered millions knowing the movie would be a hit, but Justin turned him down, likely because of how Ryan and Blake treated him during negotiations. Sources claimed that when Justin met them at their penthouse to discuss the sequel, things went south, completely backfiring on their plan to convince him. So if you think about it, Blake filing a harassment lawsuit could be her last-ditch effort to push Justin out and secure the director's chair for herself. According to Justin, this whole situation is heartbreaking. He remembers Blake comforting him during a tough meeting with Sony about wardrobe and casting backlash. She even reassured him, praising his talent as both an actor and director. He truly thought they were on the same side, so to see her turn on him like this, it's shocking. Now, we don't have all the receipts to confirm every detail, and of course, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but something about this situation just isn't adding up. What do y'all think? Leave your ideas in the comments.